when you're not in that room? What is your reason for being in this business? Whatever business you are in, either the interior or affiliated industries, or why are you in that business? What actually drives you? So today I'm going to speak about the brand fundamentals, building a brand from the bottom to the top, scaling up and gaining global recognition, sustaining the brand short-term, short, mid, and long-term, and then the business, the real business of interior decor design. So I said earlier on, who do they say I am? I use this example, and I repeat it again in most of my sessions. Jesus was the first brand consultant. He asked his disciples, who do they say I am? So first exercise, ask yourself, who are you? Your brand is not what you say it is what they say it is. After people come in contact with you, what do they take away? Do you make them feel superior? Do you make them feel inferior? Do you make them feel confident? Or do you make them go away feeling, why did I come in contact with this person? The biggest challenge intellectual people have is that they come out with overconfidence. We have to be careful. If you're an intellectual person, be careful you don't come out obviously as if you're looking down on people. They might not say it, but you might never have the second opportunity to have that contact. So your brand is not what you say it is, it's what they say it is. That's Martinumier. So now, section A, what are the fundamentals of branding? What are the foundations and the positioning? Now, building a brand from the bottom up. This is the first topic. Now, define your why. Why are you in this business? Are you doing it for hobby? Are you doing it for profit? Are you doing it as a side hustle? Are you in it as a real business? So what's your why? And what is your what? What are the attributes and what are the things that you're going to give out that will make your why have that value? And then what's your how? How are you going to go about this in a way that will ensure that your brand is fully defined? Do we get this? I'll give a very funny joke. My first big presentation I went for was with a bank, a chartered bank. And we didn't have money to buy computers. So in Surulere, you can go and rent. So we rented one computer, we got the job done. And that was the first time a bank was calling us. It was just a small firm. And we rented one for computer and one projector. By the time we got into the class, the presentation hall, there were 12 of them. And they asked, where is your projector? I didn't know what to say. I couldn't tell them we couldn't afford it. We are a small company. So I said, technology is crazy. At times it messes your presentation up. So we have our hard copies. We have our hard copies enough to go around. And one of them asked me, this is one of the most embarrassing periods in my presentation life. What are the processes through which a bank goes through the business of public placements and all that? And I started reeling out. I had gone for 2 lessons the night before from one of my friends that came to teach me. In between, one of the EDs just did like this. Otishi, you have failed it. The confidence in me disappeared. The MD told him that what you just did is wrong. But guess what? Immediately we started presenting. This is why technology and all that, I love what Vicky said about AI and all that. Immediately we started presenting and the documents went around. They said, stop. If we make corrections on this document, how many days will it take to come back? Then I know, and we are competing with the biggest advertising agencies in Lagos, about 12. We beat all of them without a slide. That began a journey that helped us to execute 14 banks in Nigeria. We are the only firm that's done that, just because we focus on not just a technology, but also the quality of your content and your differentiating factor. The client will always see when you're a novice or a starter. I did not show lack of confidence because I'd learned from the best. The challenge a lot of us in any industry we have today is that we are too much in a hurry to go in on our own. We don't spend time to learn from the masters. What people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Your purpose is your most powerful differentiator. What is your purpose? There must be a reason why you're in this hall today. You could have been in a wedding, or Owambe, or a church gathering. You chose to spend almost the whole day because you want to differentiate from the market. And I'm proud of you for that. Your purpose is your most powerful differentiator. Now, so you must identify your niche. You can't be all things to all men. I think part of what Vicky Heldan spoke about today was about differentiating. You must define who you are, not what the business is about first, but who you are. Are you having fun doing what you're doing? Or are you in it just for the money? If you are in it, ask yourself, are you a minimalist, Afrocentric, boho luxurious, or sustainable chic? You need to differentiate where do you really belong? Not the products. Your products are owned by you. Your brand is owned by your clients. Products are made in the factory. Brands are made in the minds of your target consumers. So you own, I'll continue. You own the product. The consumer owns the brand. Take note. You don't own the brand. You own only the product to sell. It is what they say you are that you are, not what you say you are. But you first of all must define who you are for them to say who you are. Does that make sense? Okay. So before you go further, you must be able to define your consumer through the mapping. What are the demographics? Who are the type of people you want to speak with, that you want to sell to? Who are the type of people that will become your clients? Who are they? Who are they? You can't sell to everybody. There's a Coca-Cola normal, there's a Coca-Cola light. There are some brands that actually go into product differentiation via product extension, and they lose value. Skittles was one of them that had problems. They tried to diversify. Unfortunately, I don't have the video here. So what are demographics? What are the aspirations of your clients and their lifestyle? Where can you meet your perfect client? You need to know that as someone selling a brand. If I want to sell my brand now, based on my pricing, I will hang out often in places like Ikoyi Club because I know they can afford me. If I go to Mama Put, I can't sell. There's nobody on me to Mama Put except a man that loves to sit there the charcoal. That is a billionaire. That kind of target, you need to identify his psychology twice. So where are your clients? The riches are in your niches. Your riches are all in your niches. That your differentiating factor that puts you ahead of the target consumers. So now, let me talk about your core brand identity and personality. What is your brand name? Your brand identity and your brand name are what differentiates you from your competition. If you place your brand name now and you place it on a global scale, will it stand the test of localization and competition? So what's your brand name? Some parents, some clients in those days, they'll take their father's name, take their mother's name, their first daughter's name, add it. Arondi and Co. The world has left that stage. So your brand name is a very strong selling factor in your brand success. So what's your logo? Do you take time to create it, or is this a mixture of your three names, LF2? What are the colors? Vicky Heldan spoke about the colors too. Your colors, there's what you call the psychology of colors. Some colors put some people off. You need to understand the psychology of colors and how it relates to your industry. She talked about this, about green. Sorry, I didn't even notice. Talked about green. A particular here asked about the color green. Does green go with interior? In the presidency and state government offices, you have the green room. That's where the executive sits. But when you put green in a venue that's meant for leisure, it comes with its own challenges. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So your brand identity, the name is important. The way you define it must also resonate. Your color and the logo, and then the most critical aspect, what are the fonts you use? How you write it? Now look at this beautiful banner. This is an example of a well-constructed banner. See alignment. Look at the fonts. There are some fonts that are totally outdated. For instance, I don't use italics for any of my clients. Italics was designed for the old school. Except you want to work for the old people's homes. Then please use italics. Or you want to attract only very old people to your business. Now, but beyond aesthetics, what story do your elements tell the consumers? What story? Define your tone. Are you aspirational? Are you approachable? Or are you regal? Are you aspirational? Is your brand aspirational? Does it aspire for more? That means, are you hungry or comfortable? If you are hungry, it means that you are hoping to grow beyond where you are. You must become aspirational, approachable, and also regal without losing your character. Some brands become so unapproachable based on the tone that some clients run away. They assume I can't afford these people. So brand touch points, let me talk about this. I think she also mentioned it before. Brand touch points and consistency. In your branding, you must be consistent in every element from your website. The font you use on your website should be the same font and the colors that you deploy in your call cards, your envelopes, your letterheads. You don't need to spend 1 million, 5 million to do all that. It's all about discipline and consistency. So there must be consistency at all your touch points. The website, the Instagram grid, the consultation pitch decks, your client onboarding decks, all must echo one thing, the same voice. Are all your touch points echoing the same voice right now? You need to go back and check. Okay? What are the foundational business systems? Your business registration, is it registered? Somebody asked a question about pricing and stuff. We'll get to that part. There was a time I was charging 5,000 per design. And then the client's business had an airline crash. And they went out of business. We decided, so if our client goes out of business, we're finished. So we resigned all our clients. It was a struggle. For 2 months, we didn't have one single client. Then all the clients who resigned started coming back because they've gone around, they couldn't find somebody that can do it better. So what's your business registration? Is it registered? CAC? You don't need too much money for that. What are your invoicing templates? Do you have an invoicing template? Is your invoicing template even consistent with your brand template? Your invoice, how does it go? How does it come? What's the deadline for response from you and from the client? What's your customer relationship management tools and the pricing model? For pricing model, for you to arrive at a pricing model, ask yourself, what's the cost of executing your business? Before I put a price to any client, I scale them first, I send it to my team, they go and look at them online, and then I look at the scope of what they want us to do, and then we now based on the input we are going to put into that business and the man hour we will require, then we top it up. Okay? So from your customer relationship management tools, then your pricing model. Clarity creates confidence. Why there is always a bit of ambiguity is because we don't take time to put in clarity and exhibit our confidence. Okay? Hope I'm not blocking you guys. Okay, so my first case study, Ile Ila from Nigerian roots to global recognition. It was founded by Tosi Oshinowo. Ile Ila House of Lights blends Yoruba culture with modern design. They use Ashoke to make their furniture, showing how strong local identity and craftsmanship can build a globally respected brand. You can Google them later. Ile Ila from Nigerian roots. Now, this is your breakout. So you can decide how you want to, if you want to break out into 3. Group 1 here, group 2 here, group 3. Now, brand it like you mean it. What do I mean here? Find me a pitch. Objective. Apply branding fundamentals to put your new product idea. So, pitch a new idea. This is a group A. This is group B. This is group C. Group C. Are you with us? It was the big I know that break was heavy. So group A, decide, put a pitch together. Any name, create a name, just call it any name, and one person will get up and speak for only 1 minute. One person. So you can form any group, you can sit like this, or you can go together to the back. You have only you have only 10 minutes. Because I want to do the second pitch.
Our color is ash and black. Okay, so we chose ash and black because they are distinct and powerful. And our font is Arial Black. And our audience, our market targets are interior designers, construction company, and architects.
My name is Ifunaya Tako, and I'm the spokesman for Emerald Diffusers. Emerald Diffusers. Yeah, we're a diffusers company. We make diffusers for residential homes, and our brand color is maroon and nude, and our price is 5,500 naira. And we are mid-range and affordable.
Furniture making company, and then the name of the company is Comfort Living. And it is Comfort Living because we are creating ergonomically feasible chairs which can recline to the back for resting for people with different age groups. Thank you.
Thank you, Group C. All of you put up. In 2 minutes, you put this together, and guess what? I want the essence of this: ability to work with each other at short notice. You guys did well, beyond the quality of your answers. Thank you. Let me go to my next slide now. Digital products. Use your ebooks. Ebooks. If you send me an ebook that is visually appealing, I don't have to know you. I'll open it, and if I see something I like, I'll send you an email. how much do they go for? People don't buy what they can't, they don't appeal, that doesn't appeal to them. So use all these platforms. How about workshops? This kind of platform is where you also learn, but beyond that, you network and you grow. Your network is your net worth. I didn't hear it. Your net worth is what? That means the money in your bank, both present and the future, will come from your network. And you might just be sitting on the next 1 billion beside you. So go to workshops, and then please try and use YouTube. They even pay for your service. If you sit down and produce a quality set of service on your products, and if it's informative, that helps other people to make interior design decisions, you can get paid. Yeah. LinkedIn is actually paying about $2,000 now. If you're not using your LinkedIn page, you can apply. They will pay you to use your platform. So there are some platforms that pay for your content, but at the same time, you also make money from your products because other people will see what you are selling. Use all these platforms to expand your base. Secondly, collaboration over competition. I don't call it competition anymore. I call it co-petition. You compete. Gala and this brand and Coca-Cola, they are not from the same company. They are not. Coca-Cola and Baileys, they are not. Coca-Cola and brandy. It's a marriage that works because the alcohol brand found out that at most weddings and burials, women don't take alcohol because it makes them look funny. They say she's a drunk. So what they do, they went into collaboration with Coca-Cola. They'll bring a stand, then the brandy stand will come. So see the way they served us our drinks out there. I drank 3 flavors in 1 cup. That was a fantastic marriage. So collaborate, but don't compete. Co-pete. You might even find your competition in this room if you take time to do so. Partner with realtors, furniture brands, interior stylists, and media outlets. You don't have to pay for everything. Media position and PR. You need to invest in this, even if it's for free. You can partner. What can you offer them? There are brands that give you space for products. Hope you know that. For many years when I worked with this airline, they never paid me to place media. They were giving the newspapers tickets. All I was being paid for was my professional services. And I prepared the media and strategy. And I send it to them. And we send the material. So please, go for earned media pitches. Pitch your brand stories to design blogs and magazines. Pitch it. Nobody will come to you because you are the best. If you keep on clapping the dark, you are winking and clapping to yourself. Imagine the room is dark and you are winking. Will anybody see you wink? So you have to pitch it. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid of no. Out of 100 no's, 20 will say yes. Some of us are afraid of the no that will come with a no. A no is an answer. Do you know that? We are ready to get to this afternoon session. I wish I were not going to go jog downstairs to the car park and jog back. Also use owned media. Consistent personal story. Sell your story. You know your story better than me. Oh, this morning I woke up, I was not inspired. I read this thing and I drew this. Bam! Somebody needs to hear that story because somebody also is going through your phase. But what it does is it brings you closer to a consumer that needs to hear your story. Media storytelling ensures that it's personalized and it's coming directly from you, not from a third party. The difference between a third party and your personal story is that third party is not believable, it's paid for. If I send a press release down to Guardian, they will know I paid. Take note, the media is very funny and your clients also, they know. If you put a full page ad, you know there's a price, they know you've paid. But when it's a story that you tell with your own language, it's believable and personalized. Partner with blogs, exchange, instead of paying money, Find ways to maybe give them a bottle of a diffuser or whatever, or one table. For many years, I worked with a client, one of the biggest furniture brands. They never paid me 1 kobo. But I got furniture every 3 months. At a point, I started wondering, do I open up a warehouse? Because that client decided all she wants to do is pay for consultancy. And I didn't want to run because my brand identity was on those fantastic materials that also brought me about 5 other luxury brands. Because they'll call her, how can we get in touch with Astrat? And the ones that will come later will pay. Not every client must pay you in cash. Not every business must be in cash. Think of better collaboration. Shared Black collaborate with influencers, architects, lifestyle curators. Collaborate with them. Let somebody else tell your story apart from you telling your story. They can tell a better story because they have experienced your brand one-on-one. And it's more believable. Paid media targets. Don't forget, targeted Instagram ads, Pinterest, or even design marketplaces. They also work. But you see, don't use them as the first point. Use the stories first. Because they are more believable and they are more personal. Okay? Global design communities. Engage with international trade shows. Some of them are free. In fact, most of these seminars online, they say webinar free. Show up. Let your voice be heard. Some people are joining to listen to who is coming next from Nigeria or from Africa. Collaborate. Okay? Join design federations. Join 1 or 2. Join 1 or 2 that will add value to your brand. Join media federations, international design agency, and all that. Now, apply for design awards. It's not shameful. You know the Agama lizard. When he lands, what does he do first? Let me see if they know about animals. He does what? What he's telling himself, I don't do well. So tell your story. Apply for design awards. Don't wait to be given. The moment you apply and you win, you apply 1 or 2 and you get 1, they will start flooding. Do you realize that? There's what you call the bandwagon effect. Everybody loves a success story. Everybody loves a success story. So apply first. After you apply, they will start coming. It might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 0. Keep applying. It will happen. Your local relevance is your global advantage. If you're not relevant locally, you cannot be relevant globally. I call it glocalization. Operating locally, but relevant globally. Glocalization. You don't have to write too much this session because you're going to have, they're going to have a copy. Okay? But you can take the key points so that you don't miss. The essence is for you to take the experience away. You're still going to have it. Your local relevance is your global advantage. Now, section C, sustaining your brand, short, mid, long term. Please focus on these 3 issues. Longevity. Would your business survive long term in your plans? Can it survive without you long term? Adaptability. Can it adapt to changing economic with the climate? Is your business going to be adaptable? And then the culture. Can your business thrive in any other place outside where it's operating now? Will it thrive? If you now decide to go and open your brand in Ghana, will it thrive? In creating a brand that is sustainable, you must also plan both short, mid, and long term. It's critical. But culture, in some cultures, they don't accept what you are selling. There are some countries that the culture do not accept alcohol to be sold in public, especially the northern part of Nigeria. But guess what? Nigerian breweries boast the highest income from the north. It's not funny. But they have understood how to market in a way that it's not too obvious. You can't see a Star Lager or any alcohol billboard in the north. It's not possible. They'll burn it. But there are other ways you can sell to them. So you don't forget, adopt to the culture. So my next slide, I'll talk about the short term. 1 to 2 years, plan this way. 1 to 2 years plan. Operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. Create a repeatable process. Create a process that's repeatable at any time for the first 2 years. If it's not repeatable, there's a problem. So create a process that anybody else that's working under you can take over if you're not available. That's why you have, it's called a business. So create a repeatable process that's for onboarding, feedback, and design delivery. If you're not in the factory, can work go on? If you're not available to talk to a client, can people talk to your people? Create a business that's not based on you or your personality. I know that most clients want to talk to me because they feel I have the final say. But I make it clear, as a CEO, I run every idea through my team. That's why it's important to have a solid team that are also intelligent as you. When you surround yourself with intelligent people, you're a wise man. When you surround yourself with people that are inferior intellectually to you, you're a wise business person. There's a quote about African leaders. They make sure that everybody around them can only say, yes sir, yes sir. They engage inferior-minded people. That's why African economy is not growing. If you surround yourself with very intelligent people, they can actually argue with you intelligently about an idea without feeling afraid of being intimidated. So build brand advocates. This is critical. Build brand advocates. Client referrals are also golden. Do the clients talk about you? Do they refer you to other clients? Brand advocates are critical to business. Okay? They are golden to every business. 3 to 5 years, focus on diversification and team building. At this point, you are building your team. Cohesion is important at this point. It's not just about you. It's not just about I. Well, okay. So, I will just continue. Hire slow, hire smart, protect your brand DNA. So I'll ask you, does your brand have a DNA? Okay. Does your brand have a brand DNA? The brand DNA is from that your why, your how, and your what. Does that make sense? So have a brand DNA. My company has a brand DNA. I have a brand DNA that guides my processes. You must have a brand DNA. So finally, hire smart, hire slowly, hire smart, but protect the brand DNA. Be sure that when people meet your team or anybody for your brand, the quality of the intellectual capacity they present is almost can match you. That's where people respect your brand, short term and long term. Now, for the 5 to 10 years, focus on brand legacy and scale without burnout. So many entrepreneurs spend too much time on the job that they burn out easily. Create a brand that is sustainable based on ability to sustain itself on the human elements. Can your brand survive without you? Can your brand even have a franchise in Gombe? You can sell the franchise based on a standard. There's a brand promise that you can have that to a point, people can buy your brand name and operate on your behalf based on a certain standard. That's if you understand your brand DNA and you have your brand templates that can be duplicated anywhere. Most of the police stations outside Lagos are not owned by the multinationals. They are owned by individuals that buy the license. Franchise. The franchise. Just because they were able to put in place a brand manual. The brand identity manual defines the standard space, colors, templates that you require. And you get paid. So you make money from a space without working in that space. Consider franchising. Launching a physical design studio on even licensing. Okay? That's for the long term. By the time you do the 1 to 2, 3 to 2 to 5, 2 to 3, now look at the 3 to 5. That's the long term. Be adaptive. Trends evolve. Do you adapt to the trends? Are you adapting to the trends in your market? Are you competitive? Are you a brand that defines the space? Do you invest in knowledge? As an entrepreneur, you must invest your knowledge. Be adaptive. Monitor interior shifts. What are the new tones, the colors that are in vogue now? Ensure that you invest in knowledge. The designs that are in vogue now must be such that you are the one leading the market, not the market leading you. Okay? Stay data informed, not trend enslaved. Questions? Anybody?
Hello, my name is Charles. Okay. I want to ask if one applies everything you have said, maybe develop a product with the proper marketing mix. That marketing mix, price, product, the rest of it. If it's not successful, so what do you have to do? And especially if the product you have said should be like for 4 years, it's segmented, it's not the right market. So what do you do?
You go back to the drawing board. That's why your strategy must be in phases. When you start a strategy, you have a plan A, short term, plan B, short term, plan C, long term. Yeah. You go back to the drawing board and find out why. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Someone behind you.
So we're talking about storytelling and we're emphasizing on storytelling. So my question is, why telling a story? Must you be vulnerable?
One, it depends on the type of brand you are selling. If you decide that your brand would be an emotional brand, if you want to go from the emotional point of view, but you have to be very careful not to release too much information that can be used against you later. For instance, if your brand is into home care or homeware, you can tell a story about your inspiration and how it inspired you, and that's it. You stop there. Don't talk too much about your weaknesses. You're meant to inspire. Okay? For 250,000, I sold over 800 copies. I didn't use any bookstore. I sold it on social media alone, and I used DHL to deliver. I refused to reprint until I did the second edition. I produced the second edition, volume 2. Now, it's supposed to be 35. Today, all of you, for being in Abuja and being in this hall, you're going to get it for free. Easy Charles, a top personal brand guide. I've used it to train over 1,000. In fact, the kind of money I made during COVID, I never made it for over 1 year in business. Because I used it, I was having back-to-back sessions with CEOs. Days I have 1 hour in the morning, back-to-back, 5 hours. And you know the bad part of overworking, you start repeating yourself if you're not careful. So be careful, don't forget, avoid burnout. So rounding up now, the future belongs to brands that dare to be deeply human, but boldly. Thank you for your time. Question before we wrap up. I knew you were going to put your hand up. The way you were looking at me, I knew.
Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. When it comes to sustaining the brand, there's a very big problem in Nigeria. I mean, I'm talking specifically about the human capital, choosing the human capital that you need to sustain the brand.
Okay.
When it comes to that in Nigeria, we're emotional. There's this tendency to replace yourself. Let's assume you are the principal in the firm or you are the CEO in the company. You have a son that is in the same line of business, or you have an uncle or a cousin that is in the same line of business, and you know there's somebody else in that company who is better than your son, or your cousin or your uncle. But there's this tendency to hand over the baton to that your son, whom you know is incompetent, either because you have trust issues or you just can't conceive the idea of handing over your company to some other person that you know will sustain the brand. So it's a problem how we want to navigate the difficulties in choosing that human capital that will sustain the brand.
Thank you for that question. I think it's very, very, very peculiar, not just in Nigeria, even in South Africa and everywhere else. It's the trust issue. You answered the question yourself. The first step is putting in place the process. If you, from day one, you have a process, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, short-term, mid-term, long-term, you put in place processes that ensures a plan for sustainability and succession. And it should not be based on relationship, it's based on competence. You can actually outsource that to a company. That way, I know a client that wanted to hand over the business to his son. It's actually a bank. So before he did it, he made sure he sent the son to most of the business schools in America. By the time the boy came back, his head was full of plenty book. But zero experience in running. He sent the son back to go and work in a bank in America. The guy worked there for 4 years before the father now stepped aside and made him acting MD, not MD yet, and put a white man as an MD. So, in fact, that company is doing well, better than the mother brand right now. So it's based on your own strategy for succession. It's not general anymore. Trends are changing. Okay, I agree with you, but the trends it's changing. Because if you don't do it, your brand will die. Any other question?
Okay, consultation session.
According to one of my teachers, he said, if you finish a lecture and there are not too many questions, it's good for you. It means that they will come for consultation. Thank you for your time.